When this huge, angry rugby player hit him with his heavy fists, it was no surprise that Mitch blacked out. This entire fight was stupid, and he wanted nothing to do with it. The guy was angry at him for no reason, other than Mitch being at the wrong place at the wrong time. When the cops asked him if he wanted to press charges, Mitch declined. He just wanted to move on with his life. And so he did. He went back to his classes and tried to focus on today's lesson. But there was Kayla. Oh, there was Kayla. See, Mitch really liked Kayla, but she was a bit of a party girl, and she constantly dated assholes like that rugby player. She always rejected him, but to Mitch's surprise, this time she agreed to go out with him. Was it a bruise on his face or something else? To be fair, Mitch did not care. He had a date with this beautiful lady, and he was going to win her over. A date went without a hitch. Mitch was funny, charismatic, caring, a true gentleman. That date turned into second date, then third date. Before he knew it, it has been 2 years, and he was at the altar saying words, "I do." Fast forward a few years into the future. Mitch is a successful businessman. He has 2 beautiful kids, a boy and a girl, and his life was nearly perfect. Of course, he had problems and issues, but he had Kayla and his beautiful kids. He did not need anything more to be happy. One day, Mitch was sitting in the living room watching television. It was a lazy Sunday night, when something caught his eye. In the corner of the room, there was this red lamp. It was always there in their house, but this time it seemed out of place. It was distorted, inverted. Mitch was transfixed. He could not take his eyes away from the lamp. The lamp felt so wrong and so out of the place, like a mistake in creation. He stared at it for hours. He could not sleep. He could not eat. He just stared at the lamp. The longer he stared at it, the worse it got. The lamp started inverting and twisting even further. It even started growing larger and larger. Slowly, hours turned into days. Mitch stopped showering. He stopped going to work. He even barely acknowledged the existence of his family. Naturally, his wife was worried sick, and she tried getting professional help. But Mitch didn't want help. He just wanted to stare at the lamp. It's not even that he wanted. He had to stare at it. He couldn't help himself. After a while, Kayla got fed up with him. This cold husk of a man was not the person she married. Mitch was barely even aware when Kayla left and took kids as well. He couldn't think about that now. He had to stare at the lamp. Lamp still continued to grow and grow. It was nearly as big as the entire room, but it still grew. Now, the only thing that Mitch saw was the red lamp. There was nothing else besides the lamp. Then the voices started. They were screaming and yelling. It was becoming too much for Mitch. He was starting to feel immense anguish and pain. Redness of the lamp slowly turned into darkness, and Mitch realized that his eyes were shut. With a lot of effort, he opened up his eyes and saw concerned faces looking at him. His confusion peaked when he saw a rugby player in handcuffs, that same rugby player that knocked him out all those years ago. It's been 10 years since that assault, and yet the rugby player looked exactly the same. Cold sweat came over Mitch as sudden realization dawned on him. His job, his beautiful wife, even his adorable little kids were not real. The entirety of the last 10 years were just figment of Mitch's imagination while being unconscious. Mitch was back to being that hopeless 20-year-old kid. It's been 20 years since the events of this story, yet Mitch still sees glimpses of his kids in peripheral vision. When he tries to look at them, they vanish into the air right in front of him.